Joining me today, got the opportunity to talk to one of my favorite coaches, not only just in the DMV, but in the entire country. Has a resume unlike any other. Naismith National Coach of the Year, undefeated season, ISL champs, DCS AA champs as well. My dear friend, Coach Tamika Dudley. Coach, thank you very much for stopping through.
No, thank you for having me. I'm super appreciative for the opportunity.
Look, we'll get to all of the tough questions in just a moment, but anytime I interview with someone such as yourself, I like to take an opportunity to integrate both sports and culture. So I'm going to put you on the hot seat. Toughest question I'll ask you. You got to give me your top five all time favorite musical artist.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, man.
Definitely Mary J.
All
Love
right.
Mary J. Uh I would say Tupac. I remember when I was like young, I would be in the car trying to memorize the rap. Like I keep rewinding the tape, trying to memorize the lyrics. So Tupac for sure, and he's deep. And
Yeah.
then I will say on the gospel side, Maverick City. I like love their stuff. It's not an artist, but like I like Maverick City. So yeah, those are the three that I would say. I
That's
really.
Coach. You got two more.
Oh, I got two more to say five. Oh
You
shoot. Okay, let me think.
starting five here.
Jay Z, and then
There it is.
I'm gonna go with Alicia Keys.
Woo. That's
Yeah.
look, you got Mary and Alicia in your top five. I love it.
Yes.
I
Yes.
I I think that every person that I and typically my partner that we've interviewed thus far puts Jay Z in their top five, and that makes me happy because for me
Right.
he's the goat of all goats for
Yeah.
more than one reason.
Yeah. No, he definitely
That's what's
gets it done.
that's what's up. Speaking of goats, as we said in the introduction, you were recently named that Naismith National Coach of the Year. That's an outstanding honor, one that obviously is bestowed only upon one coach each year. What
Yeah.
did that mean to you, and what does it mean to your program?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was kind of like surreal. You know, I just this I've said this multiple times. Like, this is what I would be doing no matter what. This is just what I do, and so for it to be recognized from the outside or the larger basketball community, it's just like kind of an overwhelming feeling because you just go to work every day and you grind and you do what you enjoy doing, your passion. So to be recognized for something that I really enjoy doing is just nothing something that I never could have imagined. And for our program as a whole, it just shows like to me where we've come from. When I took over here, it was it was unknown territory for me. I didn't know what was going to happen or what the outcome was going to be, but I took a chance. And it just goes to show like sometimes you got to put yourself out there and stretch your game a little bit. You know what I mean? Get yourself out of your comfort zone.
Look, I was going to get to this far later in the interview process, but you kind of bring it up here. When you made the choice to come to Sidwell, because there's going to be a lot of people that look at your success and say, "Oh, she's at Sidwell, yada yada yada." You were a state championship winning coach prior to this.
Yeah.
How hard was it for you to leave where you were and to make this change and to step out on faith and come to Sidwell?
Yeah. Well, I had no intention of ever leaving Woodbridge High School. I graduated from there. I had a great program. I mean, I was doing camps for 8 years. I had a following of the community in Prince William County, like and it was by chance that I stumbled upon this position, and it was extremely difficult to make the decision to leave because I had a great group of girls there. They were like I call family, and to this day I still talk to them all the time. And so that was probably the hardest decision. I had to make it more of a professional move. I had to really take away the relationships that I had with my kids and think about the professional side of things. And that was really kind of the driving force behind the decision. I was in a great place at Woodbridge. And I started with nothing from Woodbridge. I mean, we lost literally the first 4 seasons. We were like 5-game win seasons, getting crushed by teams. So we definitely climbed from the bottom.
So you had built that, and then you come over to Sidwell, and now you're building just something that a lot of people have never seen before. I want to take you back to the conversation that you and I had this summer. We were then talking about the gold medals that Kendall, Jaden, and Kiki had won, and when I asked you then though, like how good this year's team could be before the season, you told me that you all could be the best in the country. And I got to be honest with you, right? Like, I'm such a fan of your program. I'm such a fan of Sidwell. I was like, yeah, that could happen. But in the back of my mind, I was like, really, bro? The best in the country? You've done that though.
Right.
So fast forward to a couple of Sundays ago when you win the DCSAA state championship. That of course is after winning ISL. That of course is after going undefeated. When you could finally exhale, what thoughts and feelings were going through your mind and through your body?
Yeah, it's so hard to wrap my head around the success of this team. I mean, when I look at our team, I know we have a lot of talent. I mean, but there's a lot of teams in the country with a lot of talent, and it's just like,
Yeah.
uh, it's so surreal. Like the girls, what they were able to do, the willingness to sacrifice and buy in, the work ethic of our coaching staff, the support of our administration, the community. Like so many things had to fall in line for this to happen. It's just not what happens on the court. There's so many things that go along with this that have to, that contribute to the success. And also the parents in our program. I mean, for them to trust us, these highly talented, you know, athletes, and you're trusting us to push them and challenge them and force them to sacrifice some individual accolades as well. And so for all of that to come together is still just kind of like remarkable. And it's almost like you're on the outside looking in. Even for me, like it's like this is happening to you, but on the outside, look, you feel like you're on the outside of it, right?
Right.
But just so many things fall into place for the success of the program.
One of the things that both us as adults, but especially those of us that work with youth, that we have to teach is, trust the process and, put the work in and the results will come at the end of the day. Even looking at that, at the end of your schedule and the titles, this has been a journey. What has it been like coaching these girls, both from the high end as well as some of the challenges that you all have faced?
Well, the coaching the girls has been, I feel like it's been extremely enjoyable as a coach. From the kids that don't play a lot of minutes to the kids that play every minute of the game.
Right.
They have all figured out a way of appreciating one another for what they contribute to the team, and everyone feels valued. So it's been such a joy to coach when you have that environment because they're all celebrating one another. And then just kind of like for the overall growth of the program, I think people see that on the outside. They can see so many college coaches have given us feedback and said how much they enjoy watching our kids play the game and play the game the right way. And it's celebrated in our team and amongst our program.
Were there any challenges? Great team, great season, great group of girls.
Yeah. Gosh, I mean, I honestly can say there wasn't many challenges. I think the biggest challenge was COVID. Like
Sure.
the
Sure.
COVID thing, and then we didn't go to Arizona. Those were huge challenges, but I feel like we took on every game just like it's a game, and we're gonna go compete. And I tell the girls before every tough game, like we're playing the long game. It's not gonna be
Yeah.
won with one shot or in the first quarter. You're playing the long game. Don't get riled up by the crowd for a couple buckets. Like just play the long game.
Now you speak of COVID, and of course that's speaking to this year and all of the challenges that it presented this year. Last year, though, you all had an opportunity. Of course, we weren't able to play official games, but you all did have an opportunity to get together, have some practices, et cetera, together. How did that help this team's chemistry and to really come together as a unit?
Yeah, we spent a lot of time together during COVID last year in that fall league. We played a ton of games. Gosh, I think we started in like September and we didn't even stop playing until March. Like it was actually longer than what a normal season would be. Like I was like at the end, I was like, okay, I'm done with this. But
Right.
we played a lot of competitive games. And then we practiced. We ended up practicing 2 days a week at another facility out in Maryland.
Mm.
So we would practice twice a week, and we spent a lot of time on Zoom doing stuff like that. We watched film, and it was tough because Kendall and Leah had never played
Right.
with the program, so that was super important. And I honestly think the chemistry started to develop during that time last year.
That's what I saw as well. You made I look when I look at coaches now, right? Like social media is such a tool, it's an asset. And I believe that you're a coach who takes full advantage of the positivity that can come with social media. I saw early on in the season when there were people in the media and around onlookers who began to talk about Kiki and Jaden and Leah and Kendall and whatnot. And you put out a post that said, hey, this team is not, there's no big two, there's no big three, there's no big four. This is about the whole group. Why was that important for you to make that statement early?
Well, I didn't want the social media world to kind of infiltrate what we had built and created here. Kids see that. I typically don't respond to other people's posts. I just not who I am. If I'm going to post something, it's going to be
Sure.
about what we're doing. But I felt like it was necessary to kind of send that message to the rest of the world and do it publicly, because I felt like I didn't want our kids to feel like that was something that I felt or that our program felt. Like all of our kids are important to this process. I mean, gosh, our kids that don't even touch the floor, they have to practice every day against some of the best players in the
Yeah.
country, and they're the scout team. They're the team that they're going to run all the plays that the other team's going to play or run against us in a game. So they help us prepare. So they're just as important, and I just didn't want that message to kind of continue on. I wanted to try to squash it really early.
Another message that you squashed very effectively early had to deal with some of the negative recruiting, some of the rumors that you might leave the program once your daughter Kendall Dudley graduates. Why was that important to address right away?
I mean, for the sake of our program, definitely, and for you know people to understand that this is where I want to be. You know what I mean? And this is my living. And it's not about like I've coached years. I had to say this, like I've coached a long time, and Kendall's played for me for 2 years. You know what I mean? And so that doesn't,
Right.
that doesn't dictate what I'm going to do with my career choice. And so it was important for me to say that, for people to hear that from me.
And now that we've knocked off the regular season, you've won the DCSAA state championship, et cetera, all the things that we talked about. Look, Coach, I got to tell you, I've had conversations with people, and I said, bro, if that was me, I'd probably just be like, yo, I'm done. Like we got the undefeated season, we got the mission accomplished, the
Right.
season is shut down. You all though are making the choice. You're going to put it all on the line. You're going to play in the state champions invitational. First of all, talk to me about what that is, because it's a new, very special opportunity. And why'd you decide to play in that?
Yeah. So the State Champions Invitational is sort of the new national championship for schools that are fallen under the umbrella of the National Federation of High Schools. And the issue is that in the past with Geico, there's been a lot of independent schools in there, and there's a lot of compliance things that have to be met in order for those schools to be able to compete against schools that fall under the NFHS guidelines. And so after having a lot of conversation with Rosh, who is the CEO of Paragon, who's basically been the machine behind Geico and even the State Champions Invitational, he just expressed to me that this allows for more girls teams to participate. So now you have independents have their event, and now you have state affiliated schools have their event, and now ultimately you have, instead of just 5 girls teams participating, you have 9 that are able to participate in a postseason national tournament that has a ton of exposure through ESPN. So for us, it was really important to be the catalyst to help elevate that platform as the number 1 team in the country. So I feel like that's our responsibility, and where we are in our program. We should definitely be open to that. I mean, but who's going to turn down ESPN and a free trip to Tampa and everything paid for? I mean, it's a great opportunity for our kids and for girls basketball. It's great for the game.
Sports Mom Foundation, that's something that both you and I are a part of. And it's because obviously we believe in the empowerment of girls and the uplifting of girls' athletics. Why is this something that you are not only involved with, but on the board of?
Yeah. This is again when I go back to talking about how you can use your platform to help others, and I feel like Sports Mom Foundation is offering opportunities to kids who otherwise may not have the opportunity, and I'm super passionate about that because I was one of those kids,
Yeah.
single mom coming
Yeah.
up, and if I didn't have certain people in place, my life could have been very different, and so I'm very passionate about that and providing opportunities for kids who, you know, and even for me as a mother, like, I mean, I know how hard it can be to give your kid the things they need to be successful. And so it's important that we really try to help others. And in any way I can help with that, with where I am in my career, I want to be a part of it.
100%. One of the things that I love about you all's games, and it's been all season, beginning with the tournament that we held there at Sidwell, was that people are coming out to see girls basketball, and I think that that is so phenomenal. Like for you to be a catalyst of that, how does that help stamp everything that you're building as well?
Yeah, no, I'm like so honored. It's funny. I thought about this platform that we're on, and I'm like, how can we use this for good? You know what I mean? Like, how can we use, where we are to help others and help the girls' game grow? And so, to me, that's been the most, I've been more passionate about that than anything else. Like, I feel really great about, the opportunity for our girls to be visible and for people to get excited about watching girls basketball. And it was already great in the DMV, and I think this kind of just elevated it a little bit more.
I love your team. I'm not ashamed, or as a reporter, I don't mind if anybody gets upset for me saying it. Not at all, because I love your team, and not because they're champions. I love them because I love every one of the girls that's on your team. I think that they have outstanding personalities that match, if they don't exceed, the games that they have there on the court. So I'm going to give you a chance to give them their flowers just a little bit. We'll look, we'd be on the line all day if we talked about the whole team. We'll go through your top five, starting with Kaya Miller, whom I believe would be a star on anyone else's squad, and she's a star on yours as well. I know you know. Give me a couple of sentences about Kaya Miller.
Yeah, Kaya, it just brings a level of toughness to our team that a lot of people just don't understand. I always describe her as having swag. Like, she's gonna scream and get up in your face. She's cheering for everyone on the team. She's gonna celebrate her teammates, but she's also gonna get on her teammates when they're not doing something they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
I mean, we're tough on her, and she's just an all around tough kid, but just like a phenomenal person. I mean, she's such a her personality is just unmatched. Like, she's gonna celebrate
Yeah.
and cheer people on with the best. You'll see her; she's gonna be jumping off the bench, and just a great kid.
Smallest young lady in the starting five, one of the biggest games in the country, Leah Harmon.
Yeah, she may be small, but she is definitely mighty, and she's silky smooth on the court. She just kind of does her own thing, and just an excellent kid off the court. Enjoys, you know, being the example for younger kids, and her personality. She's got her get one fam, thing that she does, and just kind of like her own person, very different from the other kids, which I think makes all of our kids special because they all are so different. But are also a great free spirit, fun kids, always doing the TikTok. So
Got to talk to you about the young lady whom, in my opinion, if it's even possible, is grossly underrated. I mean, you talk about a top 10 talent, but speak to me about Jaden Donovan, man.
yeah. So Jaden is funny because she's like this on the floor. She's like got this huge,
Yes.
aggressive dog
Yes.
personality, but off the court, the sweetest kid, funny, just nice.
Ever.
Yeah, yeah. She's got Jekyll and Hyde going on with her, but I could say so many great things about all these kids, but just extremely humble, gifted, and on off the court, just a wonderful person to be around.
Young lady that is going down right now is one of the greatest student athletes to ever play any sport in the DMV. UCLA commit. Talk to me about Kiki Rice.
Yeah, Kiki, of course, everyone knows what she does on the court. Extremely humble kid, and then off the court, the funny thing about Kiki is she's an introvert, and like over the course of 3 years, we've literally like brought out some like normal Kiki, like funny Kiki. She'll get into laughing at some jokes, kind of lightened up a little bit. But like her and Jaden are kind of similar. Like Kiki's just like a beast on the court, but off the court she's like the quietest kid. And so one of the things we used to get on her about is like, you got to lead, you got to talk, because she was so quiet, and she's completely come out of that shell now. So
Yeah, I agree with that. And having watched her as a freshman and then seeing her as a senior, kind of leading huddles and pulling teammates aside, 100% on that. And now the personal one, because this is a two-tier question. You have the opportunity and the honor to coach one of the best that are going to be doing it. That is your daughter,
Right.
Kendall Dudley.
Right. Well, Kendall is, it's funny. Kendall is like her personality matches who she is on the court. Like on the court, she's kind of steady and calm and keeps it all together for us and like safe. Kendall's what I call like considered to be safe on the court, and she's like that off the
Yes.
court too. Off the court, she's like calm, and her personality, she's never high, never too low. She's always smiling. She's really kind, and she plays the game that way. I mean, there's moments when she has that aggressive side, but I think for us as coaches,
Yes.
Kendall just kind of keeps it all together. She's like cool as a cucumber, like smooth, and she does her thing. So
What's it like for you again in the midst of this surreal season to not only have your daughter be riding with you the whole way, but you look over at the scores table and your mom is in the building as well, bro. Like I just family means so much to
right,
me. So what's it like for you to have your family be a part of this?
yeah, my family is important to me as well, and my mom has been there from day one.
I love you.
Yeah,
I do.
thank
I
you.
love you. Not gonna lie, I do. I love it. Yeah.
Actually said so many good things. She's like, Chad came up to me and gave me a big hug. And I was like, oh, that's so funny.
Bro.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
she definitely has been there for me. One of my biggest fans, and Kendall's as well. And she's been doing my book for, I think like 14 years. She's been doing my books for me since I was at Woodbridge. She was with me when we won our first state championship. She's been with me at Sidwell, and like the books will never be messed up. Like if something's wrong in the book, she's going to war. So, but I love her, and she's been super supportive, and she is very important to our team and to, for me and Kendall. And then coaching Kendall, of course, has just been such a great experience. I've coached a lot of kids, and so it's finally nice to be able to have the opportunity to coach Kendall because she's been on the sidelines beside me for so many years, and she's been waiting for her moment. And I'm just glad that we finally have that opportunity.
I put out a tweet a couple of weeks ago, and I'm gonna ask Eric about this as well coming up soon. But I put out a tweet that said that what you all are doing over there in Wisconsin is going to change the landscape of recruiting in the DMV for years to come. I caught a lot of flack for that, but I truly mean it because you all, and not just you all's two programs, but also what Don is beginning to build on the football team. I love Coach West. He already has, one of the top tennis programs in the nation and so on and so forth. Soccer, Coach Ryan, again, it goes on and on. What's the culture like at Sidwell? Why is it a school of choice, not just for your program, but for athletics and student athletes as a whole?
Yeah, I think it starts with the community, the Sidwell community. I just think what we represent and how they look at each other, that value piece of valuing one another for their differences and what they bring to the table. I mean, across the board throughout the entire community, I think that's a huge part of it. And I think it all translates to sports because I feel like here you're a team. Even as a professional here, I feel like
Yeah.
I'm being treated as a professional. And I can't always say that that was the case in other professional environments that I've worked in as a teacher, not as a coach, but as a teacher.
Yeah.
And I just think that is a huge part of it. And the belief system here, and that it's not about you; it's about other people and giving back. And there's a bigger picture here. And I think it all kind of translates to the court, to the field. The kids really buy into that.
That's what's up. I certainly agree. I'm a fan of Sidwell as well, and the people around the DMV can get mad at me if they want. I don't care. I get you out of here on this, coach. Again, you got one more tournament to play this year, but as we begin to forecast for what could be coming up on the horizon, I know that with your squad, you've got very talented, outstanding seniors that are graduating, along with Kiki Rice. But next year, your team is going to be stacked, bro. You got a chance to be even better. What's on the horizon for Coach Dudley and the Sidwell Quakers?
Yeah, I think that, of course, this year having the success that we've had has helped attract, kids to our program. We have a really good class coming in next year. We have Jordan Jackson, who's going to be probably ranked in the top 25 at the start of next season. She's a high-level, talented kid. We have Genesis Schneeberg, whose brother is already here. Also a kid that is very well known in the area, plays for the Fairfax Stars. Very different from what we already have, kind of like a strong kid, can do a lot of different things. And then we have a kid, Ava Yoon, coming in. Really high-level kid, point guard, like sneaky good, can shoot and do some stuff. So I think people are going to really enjoy them. And we have another kid coming in. I'm not going to say anything, but yeah, we have a really good group coming in next year, so super excited.
Who wins the NCAA tournaments?
I mean, I want to say South
Coach, you know more than anybody else. I'm about to fill out my brackets, man. Give me the winner.
Gosh, I'm going to say Stanford again. But I really want South Carolina to win, but I feel like it's going to be Stanford.
That's what's up. Look, I do play-by-play for Howard, so I'm rooting for the largest upset.
I like Ty, so I've known her for a while. I like her, so I'm fingers crossed.
That's what's up. Fingers crossed they can keep it within 20, maybe, on some days.
Right.
Coach, thank you so very much for stopping by. I truly, truly appreciate you. We wish you nothing but success in this upcoming tournament and give you all of your flowers for the season that you all have had thus far.
Thank you. I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Ricardo Report, bruh.